Hey, Peter. I was at my son's recreational soccer tournament this weekend. Found the opposing coach's game plan to win the championship. Looks like I found his trophy guide. Yeah!
So, Dibble, how up are you on trophy hunting related YouTube channels that aren't us?
I see all that there is at all times.
All of
I'm
them?
omniscient.
So
all of them.
So you're familiar with Adam McDermott, right?
Oh, yeah.
Super popular trophy hunter.
He's a great guy.
Probably one of the most popular on YouTube.
I don't know why we haven't had him on the show before.
We haven't asked him.
We haven't asked him.
That's probably the reason.
He'd politely decline.
Anyway, he put out a video this week, right?
Oh, yeah, he did.
For Uncharted Lost Legacy. And in this video, he uses an infinite ammo rocket launcher. Which, not a big deal. Not a big deal. We use this type of stuff all the time. But it got me thinking, right? It's not something that I've seen in any of his other videos. This seems very out of character.
Out of character for him. I see.
Right. And
as someone who's seen all his content all at the same time instantaneously, all at once, because I could see all of past and future at the same time, like Dr. Manhattan. Of course I knew this was out of character for him, but continue.
But, I'm sorry, in the same week, right,
Yep.
Nate from Platchums posted a Resident Evil 3 video.
How could he?
Where, how dare he post a video about Resident Evil 3? Where in this video, he explains that he bought the Capcom Fast Pass, where you unlock the hardest difficulty and you unlock all the unlockables immediately. So you can immediately play on the hardest difficulty, get the rocket launcher, and go through, right?
And skip the line to get on Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know Nate well enough to know if that's out of character for him. It seems out of character for him.
Sometimes you got stuff going on and you're like, do I want to play this 3 more times to get the rocket launcher to then play
the answer is no. The answer is no one wants to do that, because I did that and it was awful.
Yeah, which is why when anyone's like, why would you do that? I'm like, you know why. Because you did it and you're like, yeah, this sucks. Yeah.
So I'm not bemoaning either of them. I know I've done much worse than that. And so that's the topic of this video, which is...
Have you done much worse than that, Peter?
What is the worst thing you think you've done for a trophy?
Am I opening?
Sure, go ahead. I have 4 examples. I brought 4 to the table this time.
Jesus Christ. This is going to be longer than our usual 7 to 8 minute video then if you got 4 examples for me.
I'm ready to go.
I'm going to give you one right off the top. I'm going to give you my most, at least the one that pisses me off the most that I did it, considering the context other people have told me. So I'm going to bring you back to this was before so many games were doing it. It's kind of a GTA clone style game. I'm talking on the PS3. It's been remastered and re-released 3 other times. Sleeping Dogs.
Very popular game.
Dogs.
Lots of people love this game.
So it's one of those games that's super fun for casual fans, and for trophies it kind of sucks because there's 2 different XP systems. It's like how in Infamous and how in Dante's Inferno you have being a good guy and being a bad guy. And mostly you can't do all of being a good guy and being a bad guy in the same run. You have to do them in subsequent runs.
Right.
But in Sleeping Dogs you can do them both at the same time because for some reason you're an undercover cop in this game, spoilers, and you have to do GTA style missions in Hong Kong, I think. And you have to obey the law where you can to get cop XP and be an awesome, cool jackboot thug guy where you can to get thug XP.
Okay.
It's weird. Listen.
Okay.
And the way the XP system works is you gain thug XP as you do bad stuff in the context of being an undercover cop, and you lose cop XP when you do stuff like hitting stop signs and hitting pedestrians.
That makes total sense, though. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, so if you're an undercover cop and you beat up a criminal, you get thug XP for beating up a criminal. But if you hit a road sign or go through a red light or something, you lose cop XP.
I'm sorry, if you go through a red light, I haven't played Sleeping Dogs.
It's a whole thing. I don't remember the exact. I put it 7 years ago.
Do you have to stop at red lights?
I don't think so. That's too much. But it is if you literally clip a sign, and it's 3 badges.
Okay.
And if you clip a stop sign and it falls over, you're now at 95% of that badge. That's essentially 0 badge.
Gross.
And to get more XP in one of those requirements, you have to have the full new level of badge. Thug XP is so easy to get because all you have to do is just kill people in more interesting ways when you're doing a mission. That's not that hard.
Okay.
So
what did you do? How did you mess with this system?
Well, because of I had gotten 3 shields for the cop XP on almost all of the standard missions. I think I had like 4 left, where I had 2 out of the 3, which essentially means you have to be perfect to get the 3rd shield to get more XP. And it was just like, I can't. They're so long. It's like a GTA mission where there's no checkpoints. It's like a 20-minute mission, and if you literally bump into one thing, you lose the shield and you have to do the whole mission over again.
That's awful.
But there's a microtransaction shop.
Get out of here. Are you kidding me?
And for $1, you can buy not a shield, a full level up for one or the other faction.
Oh my god.
After grinding cop missions to try and get that level up for 4 hours.
This is everything you hate in video games.
It's everything
specifically
I hate.
You.
And as I said, you have to get it's all or nothing. So all that time I spent, every time I didn't get a shield, that whole time was wasted. There's no progressive, you'll eventually get the XP to get the level up. If you don't get it, you don't get it. So if I didn't buy that level up, it could have taken 15 more hours of me grinding these missions. So I spent the $1. And then I told a friend of mine who I met in Ohio, and she goes, oh, yeah, I got that, no problem. And I talked to someone else, and he was like, yeah, I got that last level, no problem.
That's how it always is. No matter how
like,
hard you think something
dumb?
is, everybody's already done it. And it was
like,
so
am I
easy.
Dumb? I beat every one of the missions to 3 badges. That was reasonable. And the only ones left were like the really long... So it makes me feel bad for 2 levels, because 1, I broke every moral code I've ever had.
Yeah, if you had a tenet of video games, I think never buying a microtransaction is definitely on yours.
The only thing I can say was it was literally $1, and my time is so much more valuable than even $1 an hour. But still, 4 hours.
That's what they wanted you to think. That's how they get you.
I know! And the second thing is everybody else was like, yeah, what's wrong? I platinum, no problem. And I was like...
So is this rare? Is this a very rare platinum?
No, I was looking it up just now. You can go ahead and start telling me your things. I'm gonna see how rare it is.
Okay, I got 4 examples, but 2 of them are in like the same category of stuff.
It's 14.3%. Is that rare?
That's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. It's not that bad.
That's for the platinum. I don't if there's an achievement to max out the cop XP. No, because I think unlock 10 cop upgrades is 35. No, there was more than 10, and you need to get them all to get all the gold awards. Anyway, okay, I beat that game in 2016. I have barely any memory of it except for this.
Except for this thing.
And I have to get the DLC, and since it's such an old game, the DLC is like $50, and there's only 9 achievements, so I'm like, but... Sure. What did you do that made you feel bad, Peter?
So I'm grouping the first category into bad things I've done to other people to get trophies.
I can't imagine what you're about to bring up.
So the first example, we gotta rip off this Band-Aid. We gotta talk about Dead by Daylight. Okay? So,
yeah.
Dead by Daylight has a lot of trophies in it, and they're constantly adding more.
176 as of November 6th, 2021.
And I realized very quickly, I don't enjoy Dead by Daylight at all.
As somebody who played with you, no, you don't.
And I definitely don't enjoy playing a minimum of 125 games, because you have to win. You have to get 500 kills, right? And the most you can get in one game is 4. So, minimum 125 games. About 20 or 30 games in playing Killer, I learned that if you befriend the survivors, that they'll let you do all sorts of sneaky things to them. And then if you earn their trust and at the last second betray them, you can very easily get all 4 of them. You're pretty much guaranteed to get 3 of them. So what I would do repeatedly is I would join a game. I would do almost nothing except run at the survivors. I would never swing at them. I would just like hang out with them, run around, like go to the generators with them. And then right at the end, right when they're about to open the gate, I would trigger NOED, which allows you to immediately incapacitate someone, hit all 4 of them, and win the game. And they thought we were having this like fun time with like a killer who's memeing with them. And all the time I'm just lying in wait. I'm picking out who's the weak link. I'm seeing who doesn't suspect me. I'm seeing who does suspect me. And then I strike.
I think my favorite thing about this is you stopped playing after you got... Because this was your last trophy and then you were done. You got the platinum in the base game. The base game, to be clear to everyone here, is only like 50 the standard 50 trophies. The base game list now is at 125 maximum with a second list with 54 more trophies. So your total percentage is at like what?
Nothing.
6%?
Yeah, like nothing.
You stopped playing. We kept playing. So me and some other people keep playing. If somebody does what Peter did, we literally say, "I think he's petering." I think he's petering. And he's
the worst part is I had much more fun doing it this way than playing the game the correct way.
I think you're just a sourpuss.
I definitely am a sourpuss.
Absolute
no game hurt
bum.
me emotionally as much as Dead by Daylight did.
You know why I'm okay with this?
Why?
You have to get footage.
I do, yeah. So my other example that's in the same scope of things is Last of Us. So Last of Us, they have the factions multiplayer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the best way, the easiest way to get trophies in faction multiplayer is to leave the game. And so you join a game to progress the week, then you leave the game to progress the week. Yeah, just leave it immediately. And the only time you play a game is if you're at risk of losing factions. Which is horrible. Which is like totally awful to like leave these people player down in this game because you don't join mid-game in Last of Us. Like, that was a mean thing to do to people.
That was a mean thing to do. I've always thought about like how you did that because I remember when you were doing it, I'm like, how are you? This sucks. How are you actually doing this mode? People posted about it when it was the servers were going to get shut down a while ago, I think, or maybe they did, or they didn't.
I think the PS3 version.
The PS3 version shut down. People were like, how the hell do you get this Firefly Journey crap? I don't think I saw anybody saying to do that. Man, you're a dirty bastard. You're awful.
That is not nice.
Dooming those people to lose, because a lot of them are like, you know, if you don't do this and somebody dies, you basically have to start over from the beginning, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
See, now I don't feel so bad about Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah. Do you got another one before we keep going with me?
Yeah, I got a couple more. I'll go for the big meaty one next, which is I joined. So all I had left in Mortal Kombat X after grinding it for however many hours, I play fighting games from time to time. I
play Super Smash Brothers. Does that count?
That's not a fighting game.
That's a fighting game. You fight.
A dumb game. That's a dumb game for babies.
That's a great game.
That's not a fighting game.
I'm gonna cancel you for that.
Smash Brothers as a fighting game is the equivalent of what that new Super Mario Bros. Game where you can all play at once and like jump on each other's heads. That's a fighting game at that point. Cancel me if you. No, I like Smash Bros. But only an original. Because that made Melee sucks. Everybody likes Melee. Stupid and dumb.
This is heresy.
So I play mostly Capcom fighters. I played like Street Fighter, obviously, Marvel vs. Capcom. What's the other one? The one with the cat girl and the Frankenstein guy. I'll think
Batman.
Of it later. I'll feel dumb. No, that's the thing. The NetherRealm fighters is the ones that I'm not very good at. Injustice, Mortal Kombat. Generally games where block is a button. Capcom fighting games block is just back, like holding the stick back.
Sure,
I'm doing this in front of me. But in general, I'm not great at NetherRealm fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, but I've messed around. And I got to a point where I only had a couple things left in Mortal Kombat X, and one of them was 1,000 respect points, which you get by playing like ranked matches and the King of the Hill matches. And you have to... The most respect you can get in one match is if everybody in the match gives you 10, and there's 8 people in a match, so that's 7 people. So the most you can get in one round is 70. And you need 1,000.
Wow. Which
is, if you had a group of 8 people in a boosting session, it takes like 4 hours for everybody to get 1,000.
Sure, that makes sense.
Because you get 70 every like 25 minutes when it's your turn again. It's ridiculous. And the other thing is, it's a boosting session for a fighting game. There's a very good chance someone's going to do something against the boosting rules, and they're going to get kicked. And
just cut ahead.
So it was like European times. We started at like 2 a.m.
Oh god!
I know I don't often do these boosting sessions, but I was like, I'm so close to the platinum of Mortal Kombat X. It's pretty rare, and I'd feel pretty good about getting it. So I did this, and it was like 3 or 4 hours. 2 hours in, there was a rule that said the fastest way to win is picking this character and doing this move like 5 times. It kills them in like 30-something seconds. Technically, if you're amazing at the game, you can kill them way faster, but it literally was just like, don't bother. If you do that, we'll kick you. Just don't. And everybody for 2 hours was doing it the right way, and then one guy just started playing for real, and the host instantly kicked him. And we were like, oh, we gotta deal with randoms now, and it's gonna be slower. Because I think that's what he was. He's like, what are you gonna do? Kick me? It'll take longer for you. And the guy was like, nope, moral high ground. And I was like... So now we have one open spot in a full thing of King of the Hill for boosting session. Guess what? Fucking randoms start showing up.
Sure, yeah.
Who are just... messing around, messing the whole thing up for us. Eventually, I think we got someone back, but it made it take an hour longer. That made me feel awful because I was like, I hate doing these boosting sessions, but I'm not remotely good enough to.
So what was the bad thing? Just doing boosting?
Oh, it took like 5.5 hours.
Oh, just a long boosting session.
It was a long boosting session, and in the boosting session, I met 2 people whose profiles I was snooping on, and we were mid discussion about things we find less savory in trophy hunting.
Ooh, little spice.
At this point, we'd been together for 3 hours. And I mentioned, I'm like, I don't care for? I don't understand why people will beat a game once and then immediately cross-save it like 4 more times. Or they'll keep buying the other regions of the game to beat it
stacking it up.
Just stacking it up. Instead of having 1 or 2 platinums, they get like 10. And this one guy goes, man, I don't agree with that at all. I was looking at his profile. He had like 17 stacks. And it wasn't a long time ago. It was like the week before. And I was like,
guy's lying to your face. Right? He's lying to your face.
It was such a weird experience. I went to bed again because it was always like a Saturday morning. I wasn't gonna do it like during a weekday. My wife was like, "How you doing?" I was like, I don't know who anyone is anymore. People lying to my face.
A trophy hunter would lie to me. It's crazy.
He lied to me on the internet. How could he do that? The other thing, which is obviously the actual bad thing, is I had 2 trophies left. One was just grinding the factions, which just takes like doing brutalities over and over again to get. You have to get level 50 in like 5 different factions, and unless you get to level 50, if you change faction early, it doesn't count. You have to go all the way to 50 again. It's like 10 hours of grinding. I did like 2 hours a day for a week. It was awful. It was awful. Don't do it.
It sounds pretty awful.
You have to win 10 ranked games in a row, and as I've mentioned, I'm not bad. There's no way I was going to win 10 ranked games in a row. And there's a method online, which is you win a game, and then you back out, you upload your save to the cloud, and then if you lose, you just re-download that save, because for some reason it's stored locally. Good job, NetherRealm. It's a really weird way for them.
It's so weird. It's like, why even have trophies like that if they're so easy to either boost or save scum?
But here's the thing. After 3 hours of attempts, I had 1 win.
Yikes.
And then I had to travel for work to Cincinnati. And I know a friend who lives there who's really good at Mortal Kombat. And I was like, hey,
gotta get
you
bailed
want to hang out and play Mortal Kombat?
The older brother technique.
You want to play Mortal Kombat? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, you want to do rank matches? He's like, you need that achievement? I was like, yeah, I might need that achievement. Can you, He's like, yeah. I was like, it's the only one I have left.
Getting like, Dad to come over and beat up the bad kids for you.
To be fair, he got like 6 of them in a row. And then he was like, that's too hot of a streak. I'm going to back the save up. He lost the next one. I think he downloaded it. Then he got the other 4 in a row. But he basically got all 10 in a row with only 1 cheese in the middle. But, man, it's this fighting game, man. People are real sweaty. It's real hard.
People are good at fighting games. I'm not good at fighting games.
Because of that cheese, it's not nearly as rare as it could be. But it's still like, I mean, can you imagine how many times you'd have to re-download that? Good Lord. The platinum is 1.6% on PSN Pro.
Wow.
One of the reasons is because one of the trophies got turned off. I helped petition them to turn it back on. Yeah. 10 complete game win streak in ranked 1v1 is at 3%, which is rarer than a lot of platinums are. And then the 100%, which involves like 13 multiplayer more trophies, makes it like 0.65. So if you want to fucking hold against me to the end of time that one of my rarest platinums, I had one person help me get.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hold this against you for an unreasonably long time.
Yeah,
the punishment will not suit the crime. I will go way beyond that.
I'm sure you will. Give me your next thing.
What's my favorite thing? What do I love more than anything?
Good games.
Okay, fair. I like trains. Okay.
Trains. Oh, is this you're doing harm to other people?
No, we're out of harm to other people. Everything else is things I've done to myself. I like trains. I like board games.
I know what you're talking about.
Ticket to Ride's a great board game. Okay. So it comes to PlayStation. It's a PlayLink title, so you can play with your friends on their phones when they come over. You don't need to. Cool. You don't need to use a controller for everybody. You can play with like as many people as the board game supports. It's fantastic. It's got every map. I definitely sat there with like 4 devices and boosted all the trophies myself because that was way easier than trying to do them legit. It was It's like the people who do like the Jackbox trophies and do them themselves.
Oh, I did that.
It's like that kind of thing.
One of them is like, I think it's in the first one, it's like have 10 people in one game. And the most we could ever get was like 5. We didn't know enough people. So we got 5 people in one game, and I logged in on 4 different, like, I had like a Firefox tab open, an Opera tab open. I grabbed a laptop, I grabbed my work laptop, and I grabbed like a fucking tablet.
See,
like,
it was that sort of thing. It was like, I'm juggling devices.
Yeah.
Because you needed at least 4 people for some of the trophies. So it's just like, eh. And then on top of that, a bunch of them were glitched, and I couldn't get them at all. So,
but then you bought all the DLC, didn't you, Peter?
I did buy all the DLC. I did support that awful business model.
You did make a video about it where you decried it and you said don't give them your money. You did.
Yeah, I did. My other example is, of course, my most egregious crime I think ever in trophy hunting.
Please.
One of my most impressive platinums, or at least the ones that people see on my profile that they're like, wow, that's like a really hard game, is Tetris Effect. Right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do like a Super Meat Boy reveal, and I was like, he's lived a lie this whole time.
No, Super Meat Boy is totally legit.
Did you get it share played, you bastard?
So Tetris Effect is a pretty hard platinum, but it also is very grindy. So there's a trophy for rotating. I think it's like an insane amount of time. I think it's like 10 million times or something like that.
That's like that's too many times.
So like even with a turbo controller, which I don't own, it would take hours.
Poor. 1 million times.
1 million times. Okay, it's a lot. But I had all the other trophies.
76%.
I had all the other trophies before I had that one, right? So I had all the like get SS on every mission, that sort of thing, and I just needed that. And I was like kind of fed up with the game at that point, kind of checked out. So what I did was I did remote play to my computer, and I made a quick macro to press X repeatedly. So that way it would end a game, and it would hit X to retry, and it would just sit there and spin repeatedly. What's going on right now? What's going on?
I'm doing the same thing.
There you go.
You just get a fight stick, you big dummy.
I don't have a fight stick.
You put turbo mode on, and you just press the button once, and then it goes. Brrr.
I think that's the most egregious thing I've done. I couldn't find another example.
I can't believe that you would do such a thing. You would possibly incur the gods of the remote share play when you could just spend money to do the same thing instead of doing it for free.
I'm way too lazy for that. And then on top of that, it took 4 days.
That's insane.
It still took so long.
That trophy's at 0.76%.
Yeah.
Okay. When you said one of your rarest things was gonna have like a caveat to it, I was like, oh man.
A little asterisk, you know?
No, it wasn't nearly as
It's
bad
not
as
Meat Boy. It's not a super spicy take. I'm sorry.
Oh well, you know. I mean, I did that too. I thought when you'd mentioned something along those lines, I was gonna say the game Buff Night Advanced, which at a time I was playing True Trophies. I was doing I was trying to get number 1 on the US leaderboard for roguelikes. Roguelike, whatever it's called.
That's tough. That's a popular genre.
I think I was like 8th at one point.
Wow.
But one of the games listed is not a roguelike insofar as anyone I've ever played, like Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, that kind of stuff. The mainline ones most people think of. Like, obviously FTL, but that's not on console, I don't think.
I don't think so
Buff Night Advanced is like a fucking mobile game where you just go to the right and you attack every so often and stuff happens. And you buy upgrades to make yourself more powerful, and it's fucking awful. It's one of the worst games I've ever played. It's not even a game, it's just like hold the attack button sometimes.
I've been there. I have definitely played mobile ports on PSN.
Amoeba Battle.
It's in my trophy cabinet. What can I say?
You were the first to get it, you poor sad man. But this game was so bad, and the worst thing was, I think intern Matt came over, and he saw me playing, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, look, man, it's on my profile now.
How dare the intern speak to you that way?
How dare he? But anyway, I went over and I realized once you get high enough level, I think I needed to get all of the sub items to a certain, like level 20 or something, and there's like 30 of them, and the one that you get is random each time you get one, and the only way you level up is just by getting more of them. So what I did was I got a turbo controller and I plugged it in and I went to level 1-1, and I figured out, I remapped the buttons so that like if X and circle were both turboed, I would just run through the level killing everything instantly, and every time you got to a checkpoint, you'd get a new item. And then I would eventually get to the boss. I'd probably get 3 or 4 levels in before the boss couldn't kill me before I could kill it by just hitting X a million times.
Yeah.
I would die, and I think start was also turboed maybe, and it would like go did it, and it would re-go to the next one, and it would start over again and do it again and again and again and again. I left it on for like 3 or 4 days, dude. How anybody has that platinum, I have no idea. It took days of doing that to get the items all the way up. It's awful. Awful game.
Anything for the trophy, though.
Listen, Peter. Fucking anything for the trophy.
And
that's
the theme for today's episode. So in the comments, tell us the worst thing you think you've done for a trophy. It could be anything. And we'll all make fun of each other. It's going to be great.
It's at 49%. That's insane.
That's pretty rare. That's less than a lot.
It's 1 in 2 people who've played it have finished it. That's insane. What kind of, who made this?
I thought you said 0.49. I didn't realize you said 49.
49% of people.
Okay, that's a lot of people.
How? I don't know. I think it's because it's a mobile game style, and I just don't have the patience for that. And I guess everybody else does, so they just played it for fucking 7 billion hours.
Yeah.
I can't put up with it, Peter.
If you've got an idea for another topic, let us know.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to get a trophy? And if you haven't figured it out yet, what game is playing the demo in the background? Oh, I'm giving it away! It's Diddy Kong Racing!